please watch the recording session if you miss any of the classes, and recording session will be available for the 30 days, right? So if you in future, if you will ask me to provide the recording session, I can provide you because I'm not storing the recording session in my local machine. Okay, so please watch the recording session if you miss any of the recording, any of the live classes. Okay, so I have started the recording. So in the last class, I think in yesterday class, we have discussed about the client error and the authentication and the authorization. Okay, authentication and the authorization, right? And we also discuss what is the difference between authentication and the authorization. In the interview they will ask you. Okay, and we also discuss how the 401, that is unauthorized, is different from the 403. So we have also discussed the 403. Okay, so we are going to discuss some important the client error. Let me go here. So open your Postman and yeah. So in the guys, can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, fine. So last time. Okay, so in yesterday class we have seen the 400 bad request, 401 unauthorized, 403 forbidden, and 404 not found. So this regarding this status code clear concept. Okay, and the 90% we are using this four status code. You will get this the client error generally in your real time. Okay, so you will sometime, rarely you will also get 405 and 414. Okay, and 415 and 409. Okay, let's try to understand what the meaning of 405 method not allowed. Okay, so when the requirements is come to you, right, and you started doing the testing, right? So sometimes like suppose to create the method we have to use post method. To get the data we have to use get method, right? To update the data we can use patch or put method, whatever in your company, in your project they have implemented based on that. Okay, and to delete the data we are using the delete method. Okay, so what we are doing, so by mistakenly, let's suppose to generate the token, to generate the access token, I were using post method. I think here you can see where it is to generate the token. Yeah, here you can see to generate the token. As per the requirement, let's suppose we have the requirement where we have to authenticate the user, right? And when I they have used the post method as per the requirement. When I connect with the server, it will give me the token, right? What you are doing here, by mistakenly, so you have selected instead of post method you have selected the get method here, right? Everything is same. Okay, when you connect, can you see it here? 405 method not allowed, method not allowed. So that means that to generate the token we have to use the post method, but unfortunately we have used the get method. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, if you select any other method, right, like if you want to create, then you have to select create post method. Okay, instead of post you are selecting some other, right, the gate, or you can say some in other status code you can select. In that case you will get 405 method not allowed. Method not allowed. Okay, so you can see it here. If you hover your mouse, if you read this message, can you if you read this message, the message is saying a request was made of resource using a request method not supported by the resource. Okay, this particular method, is not supporting this particular request, because you have to use the post. Okay, so the same thing it's written here when you read this message. For example, using get on a form which require a data presented via post, or using put on a read only resource. Okay, so that is all about the method not allowed. And generally we are if you are something you are doing wrong, in that case you will get the 405 method not allowed. And one more thing guys, let's suppose you tell me that, sir, I have performed this action. Let's suppose this is your API. This is the API to create the data, the Go REST API. Instead of post, I have selected the gate I'm trying to call. Right, I'm trying to call, and I'm getting 200 or some other invalid status code. Right, so you might have the question. You explain me that let's suppose this particular method is used to create the data, but instead of post I am selecting some other method, like let's suppose select head, or let's suppose copy. Okay, you are selecting some other method, so you are not getting the 405 method not allowed. Right, so again I am asking you the actual functionality of 405, which I have explained you, right? And it also depends on the is developer has implemented the same or not. If developer has implemented the same thing in his code, then you will get 405 method not allowed. Okay, but when you get the 405, I have explained you, right, and in the real time you will not get. So do not worry about that. Do not worry. Let's suppose you are getting some other status code, so you have to discuss with your team lead or your concerned person that you are trying to do this scenario, right, and as per the scenario, it should display 405 method not allowed. Then why it is 404 or some other status code? Then your client will clarify you, no problem, we can go with that. Okay, or we have to log the bug, right? So you have to log the bug. Okay, but in the interview, if they will ask you, I think you can explain him. Okay, that's why I told you in the real time we are not using, rarely you will get 405 method not allowed. If you sometime, I don't know, you guys have faced this problem. Give me a second. Hmm. Let me download this plugin. Let me show you method not allowed in the UI actually. Download test marketplace. Uh, mm, something you will get. Let me install and download the plugin. Let me copy the URL is okay. No, that is not. Stop. Give me a second. Get the. Okay, let me try to this actually. I need to. Okay, release forbidden. It asking forbidden. That means 403. Let me try. I think couple of days before I get the 405 in the UI also. Let me try this one. Let me try this one. 404 not found. So yeah. So anyway, guys, let me show you the 404 method not allowed. Okay. Go to the image. I don't know, sometimes you face this type of issue in the UI while you are doing, testing. Have you seen this type of message, guys, in the real time sometime? Like this type of message, 405 method not allowed or something like that?
Yes, yes.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Okay, so you will also see this type of issue in the UI also. So that means that whatever the action you're trying to do in the internally, they have implemented the wrong actually. Instead of selecting the correct method, he has selected some other method. So that's why you are getting 405 method not allowed. Okay, sometime you will also, I think couple of days back I get this error message. I don't have exactly remember which application I have used to. Okay, anyway, you will get this error message. Same thing here. Can you see the, I think you will also get something like this error message when you are clicking on the any element in the UI. You are facing like something 404 not found in the UI also. Why? Because that particular thing is not exist anymore. Okay, so yeah, let's come to the another section. Yeah.
When any invalid file type is being uploaded, like we are sending in a request, so what type of status code we might get?
You tell me, sir, what type of status code you will get as per my explanation in the day before classes. Try to give the answer. What you are doing wrong here?
Unsupported. You can.
No. You have selected the right method, right? Let's suppose you are using post method, and you pass all the things correct. But what you are doing, you are uploading your requirement is, let's suppose, PNG, right? And you are uploading the PDF, right? Right? Even your method is also correct as per the requirement, right? But instead of PNG, you are uploading the PDF. Now, guys, you tell me what is the mistake? What status code you will get? Tell me.
Bad request?
Bad request, exactly. So, because as per the requirement, you have to upload the PNG, right? But you are uploading the PDF. So, you are passing the bad request to the server, right? Because it is not part of your requirement and it is not implemented by the developer. So, you will get the bad request.
Okay.
Okay. Now, give me a second, client error and method not allowed, forbidden, get authorized. 3 is discussed, 403 bad request discussed, authorization discussed. Okay. And this thing we will also face, but I have not faced in my real time actually. So if you go to this particular URL, you will get the things what exactly it is. Okay, here you can see 400 client error. So you can see it also strict mark this thing which I have explained you: 400, 401, 403, 404 and 409. So these fives are the important, which are, you will get majorly in your project. Okay, the rarely 1-2% you will also get other one. Okay, so which I have, yeah, 405. Here you can see method not allowed. If you click on the method not allowed, you will get the explanation here. You will get the explanation, in which case you will get the method not allowed. If I click on the 411 length, 411 length required, the server refuses to accept the request without a defined content length. Right. The client may repeat the request if adds a valid content length header field contain the length of the message body. So content length is, I think, here. Here you can see here content length. So let's suppose this the content length is by default taken by the postman. What I am doing here, let's suppose I am passing the content length. I'm not able to edit. I'm not able to edit this content length. The content length header was added to indicate this indicate to the server the size of the request. Here you can see what content length header is asking to you. If you pass the particular value, then that means this will ask what size of the request you are sending to the server, right? If you pass lot of content, right? If you pass lot of content in the request body, right, in that case you will get the 411 length required, right? In that case you have to mention the length. What is the length of your request? What is the length of the request, right? So in that situation you will get the 411 length required. Okay, and this one is 414 URI too long. If you go here 414 where it is 414, yeah, request URI too long. Here you can see the server is refusing to service the request because the request URL is longer than the server is willing to interpret. Okay, what did you understand by this? Let's suppose you are passing the very long URL here, in that case when you connect with the server you will get this error message: 414 request URI is too long. The server is refusing to service the request because the request URI is the longer than the service is willing to interrupt. Rarely condition is likely to occur. Can you see it here? Okay, so it's rarely, even I have not faced 411. Okay, sorry, 414 URI too long.
Because
you will get, yeah.
Can you show that like length required one?
Actually, sir, I can show you, but let's see. I'm using here. Let's see. I'm using get all data, and what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to add here multiple values. Okay, so your URI is getting so long. Okay, so when I connect this thing, if developer has implemented the same thing, like when URI is too long, you will get the 414 error message, because developer has to set the limitation. If they exceed that one, then you will get the 414
Length required.
yeah. So you will get this URI too long actually. And I told you now, you will in the real time, you will face only this four thing. Apart from that, yeah, sometime you will get also this one, okay, and sometime you will also get this one, okay, but this thing you will not face, the length URI, right? Generally this is low to low priority which no one is following actually, and no one, your company wants, no project will wants, expend the time to implement this status code, right? Because if you want to implement the any status code, it will require some time, agree, right? So this is the very very low priority things which in not any project will wants to implement this thing in his project, because it will require times and the resource as well. Okay, so that's why the most of the companies, most of the project, they will only implement this 4, and I think 4145 also, and 409. And even in the interview, they will also not ask you this question, what did you mean by the 411, this silly question, and they will never ask you about this, because even they have not used this thing. But I have explained you why, because if you go here, there are a lot of status code here. Can you see it here? If you go here, you can see how many 403s are there. You can see it here, right? But in the real time, in the HTTP status code, right, we are using only these 5: 40, 401, 403, 404, and 409. Apart from that, we are not using anyone. Okay, so
yeah, this length required, can you tell again? Not
length required means where it is length required.
411.
Yeah, 411. 411. Okay, let's suppose you are passing the long. Why I can't show you here? Because this thing is totally depends on your project implementation. If they have implemented, in that case you will get there, you will get this thing, that particular status code. If they have not implemented, then you will not get that thing. Okay, and generally in 99% they are not spending time behind to implement this thing.
Yeah. But
Okay,
like how we may get
yeah,
this?
yeah.
This
Let me explain you. So 411 length required. Okay, so 411 length required. If you go here and if you read this thing, so the server refused to accept the request without a defined content length. Okay, so it asking that if you not defined the content length here, let's suppose here I'm deselecting here, right, and deselecting here, let's try to you post and try to connect. Okay, email, give me a second, let me pass some valid thing here. Okay. Email can't be a blank, email can't be a blank, status can't be a blank. Why? Give me a second. Header, let me pass this thing, content length, and try to call. It get created. Okay. So if you go here and what is this content length? The server refuse the accept, the request without a defined content length. The client may repeat the request if it's add a valid content length. Here it asking, and here you can see the request did not specify the length of its content which is required by the requested resource. Here, so in the real time, if they in your project, if they have implemented, here you can see whenever we are creating any request. Okay, so if you go to the header section, so the postman, when you are passing the request body, let's suppose I am passing the request body by selecting the post and the body. Let's suppose let me Just close, and this is the post body. Let me unsave. Okay, so this is your URL. Okay, what I am doing here, let me close everything. Close, do not save, do not save. Okay, so you are trying to create here. You can see, you can't see the content length here. Content length, you can't see it here. Let me pass the URL here. Go to the body and select the raw and select the JSON here, and let me pass the where is the I want to take the request body. Okay, new collection. Okay, give me a second. Okay, let me copy this one. Okay, no. Which workspace we are using? This one, I think we are using. Okay, so yeah, let me close all the things. Close. Okay, let me create the request, and let me copy the go rest here and paste it here, and select the body, select the raw and select the JSON here, pass the request body. So this is your request body. Let me copy and pass it here. Let's pass it here. So when you go here, when you pass the request body, can you see it here? Now earlier it was 6, now it changed into the 8 header. Okay, so automatically content length header is added by the server, by the Postman actually. Okay, when you are adding the content length, sorry, when you are adding the request, so automatically content type, so content length will get added into your header section. Okay, so let's suppose the content length is passed. When I'm trying to create, it will data get created 400. If you are administrator of this site, please read this web application logs file or web because we from the from very because this particular service is the free service. Okay, so I think he blocked me to create the data. Let's try. You will get the 400 internal server. Guys, remember this error message, 500 internal server. Let me try to change here something like and try to call. They have blocked me. Okay, first user. I have passed the correct auth or not. Okay, let me pass the correct auth here. The error token and auth. Let me connect. They have blocked me. Okay, no problem. So we will use the the GitHub requirement. So you pass the name here unique, and this is your organization, and here you can see the content length. You can see the content length, right? So by default, the Postman will take, if you not pass the content length and try to connect, we have to ask to the server what is the length of the request actually. So you can see you are not able to create the request, so server will understand that it is a blank request. That's why you are getting this error message. Name is missing, and the repository is too short. Okay, so when I select this particular checkbox, okay, and then when you connect, you are able to create the data. Can you see it here? Okay, but if if developer has implemented the 411 length required, then when you not pass the length here, the length header, right, and try to connect with the server in the real time, if in your project they have implemented, then you will get here 411 length required. Clear? If you not pass the content length here, then server will understand that it is a blank request. That's why you are getting this error message. You have to pass the name. Missing field is name, right? And you can see I am passing the name here. Why this error is asking to missing name? Even I have passed the things. So because the server will understand that it is a blank request if you not pass the content length. Okay, clear?
Yes, Vikas, thank you.
Yeah, but in the real time generally we will not get such type of error message, guys. Okay, and let me explain you about the 409 conflict. So this thing also in 100% of the project, only 5% project they are using in the real time. I know what when you get the 409, because in one of my project the client required the 409. That's why I know the concept, in which case you will get 409 conflict. Okay, so 409, let's suppose you have created one data, right? You have created one data, and what you are doing here, you created one data, and the server will provide you the ID. Server will provide you the ID, and in some of the requirement we have the name should be unique, email ID should be unique, right? What you are doing here, you have created the data with name Vikas, email ID info Vikas, right? And you have successfully created your data. And what you are trying to do, you are trying to create the another data using the same name, right? Like the name Vikas and the email ID is info Vikas, right? When you try to connect with the server, you will get the 409 conflict. 409 conflict means the data is already, the similar data is already exist into the inside the particular resource, and you are trying to create the same data with the same names and the values, right? So that's why you will get 409 conflict. Okay, because with the same value data is already created. The name itself saying the conflict, right? Conflict means anything, overriding the something, right? It's similar, not similar, it is exactly same. Let's suppose you have created the employee with the name Rahul, right? And Rahul email ID is Rahul at the rate gmail.com, and the next time you are again creating the same data using same email ID, right? In that case you will get 409 conflict. Data is already exist with this particular name or with this particular key. In that case you will get the 409 conflict, right? Most of the company, they are not using this concept 409 conflict. Okay, instead of that they will use 400 bad request. Okay, but the idea behind of that is, whenever you having the similar data inside the particular resource, in that case you will get the 409 conflict, right? And if you want to go through the detail, I have added all the detail here. You can see it here, success code and the client error, you can go it here. Okay, you can go it here and you can read. Okay, now the one more error is server error. Server error, when did you, but guys, but please
Unsupported media type, Vikas, that when to come unsupported
okay,
media type.
unsupported media type you will also not get in the real time, but let me explain you what is unsupported media type. Okay, here you can see the server is refusing to service the request because the entity of the request is not, entity of a request is in a format not supported by the request. Okay, let's suppose they have provided the example. Here you can see the client upload an image, right? And but the server required the use a different format, guys. So Suvendu asked me the one question that he is trying to upload image, right? He is trying to upload the image, right? So what you have to do here, give me a second, let me pass the content type. Here content type we are using, right? Here if it is the request is you are passing is in, let's suppose, give me a second, why am I missing the time? Give me a second, guys. I must clear this thing. So let's suppose as per the requirement, guys, tell me what accept you are passing here for the GitHub requirement. This value, right?
Yes.
Right. What you are doing here. So why we are passing this thing? Why we are passing this thing? We are passing this thing because the request is in the JSON format, right? And we have to ask to the server that the things which we are passing is in the form of a JSON, application JSON. Similarly, when I think in the Swagger we have not used or used, yeah, I think we have used, right? Create an order. Here you can see we have used the content type, right? So because this is the JSON, right? That's why we have used the JSON. What you are trying here, you are passing the JSON in the request body, right? But here you are passing XML. So server will not understand, server will get confused. One side you are passing the JSON data here, and another side you are passing in the header as a XML. Okay, so server will get confused actually. So you will see the error message, something like that, 400 bad request, right? But if in your project, if they have implemented the 415 unsupported media type, then you will get 415 if they have implemented in your project. Then you will get 415 here, unsupported media type. Okay, let's suppose when you ask me the one question that you are trying to upload the image file, right? Then what you have to do here, you have to something like image, you have to the JPG, the file extension, you have to pass it here as per the requirement, whatever they will provide you in the real time, right? So you have to pass here, right? But I think we have for the JPG here, you can see the content type when you are trying to upload the JPG. So this is the content type value. Okay, so JPG. Okay, so you are trying to upload, if you go to the header and you are selecting the raw, and how you can upload the file here, right? Here you can upload the file, right? So instead of image, you are trying to upload the what you are trying to upload PDF, right? So what will happen? Server will understand it is an PDF, and in the header side you are passing the PNG, JPG. Sorry, JPG you are passing. So it will, both the things are contradiction, right? So the server will get confused. Then he will return this message, unsupported media type. If this message is not implemented in your project, then you will get 400 bad request, right? Clear? Now but guys, if interview asks you about this 4 status code, right? I believe you can confidently give the answer. Confidently you can give the answer. Okay. And I have also theoretically I have explained you in which condition you will get this thing, right? So if they will ask you, interview will ask you, have you faced 414 or 415 in your project? So clearly, if in the real time, if in your project you are getting this status code, then you can ask, yes, I have faced this status code also, client error also. If you not get in your project, then directly you can say, yeah, I have not faced this client error because in my project, this client error is not part of the requirement. Instead of that, they are returning 400 bad request. Okay, you can explain this thing, but you can also explain the things that I know in which case you will get this particular client error. Okay, and you can explain him. Okay, now coming to the next part, the server error. Server error. Okay, so server error means it is related to the server. Here you can see guys, this all the status code, this which I have explained you have also faced in the UI. If you go and type here 400 bad request in the UI, also go to the image section. Have you seen this type of error in your UI when you are trying to do the testing? Sometimes bad request, something like that, bad request in the UI. Have you faced? I believe everyone, doing the manual testing, everyone faced this error message in the UI when you are, testing any scenario, and sometime you will get 400 bad request. Okay, and even 401 also. 401 unauthorized also in the UI. This type of error message.
Yes, this will face.
Right? This type of error message you will get. So that means that this type of error I think you have faced. Okay, so that means that you are the unauthorized person to trying to do. And even 403 forbidden also. 403, if you go and 403 forbidden. Because why you are getting this thing in your UI section? Because the same thing, whoever doing the API testing, the backend testing, he will also get this error message, not only in the UI. You can see this type of error message also, right? So when I let me show you, this is one test ng URL. Okay, when I clicking on this URL, you can see the forbidden, because I don't have the access of this particular URL. That's why I'm getting 403 forbidden. So that's why backend and the front end both are interrelated, guys. Okay. And 404 not found. I have already shown you. Okay. Now coming to the server error. Server error means the error which we are getting due to the server error, not due to the functionality. This thing you are getting, this thing, if you are not getting 200, 201 or 204, so this is the functionality issue. This is a bug. right? And this thing you are getting this error message because you have performed the wrong action. Agree? The user has performed the wrong action. Agree or not?
Agree.
Right? And this thing you will get when the issue is from the server side. The issue is from the server side. So have you seen this error message? I believe 100% you will get this error message. This error message, go to the image. This error message. Have you seen this type of error message in the UI? Every time I think you have faced.
Yes.
Right? So now we will discuss what is the reason behind this server error. Why we are getting this server error? Why we are getting the server error? So guys, we don't know the exact reason. As a tester, you you can't say the exact reason of the server error. Right? The developer has to find the reason behind that. What is the reason behind that? Okay, you can assume the things that might be the reason, but you can't say the exact reason. What is the reason behind this server error if you are getting? Okay, so there are multiple reasons behind this server error. So when have you seen when your server is down? I think you are when you are using, everyone using the banking application like State Bank of India or ICCI account, everyone having the account, right? Sometime have you seen when you trying to access the ICCI or SBI bank, it's showing me the error message, the server in the maintenance mode. Have you seen this type of message in UI?
Yes.
Right. So that means that that particular service that let me server in maintenance mode, server in maintenance mode. Okay, server in maintenance mode. Have you seen this type of error message like server we are down for maintenance? Okay, and somewhere you can also see the message temporary maintenance, something like that, right? So you will get this error message into the UI. So what is the reason? You will see sometime funny message, something like that. It depends on how they have designed actually. Okay, so what is the reason behind you are getting the server maintenance? Tell me.
Deployment.
Might be the deployment is happening or some some maintenance is going on into your backend side. Developer is working, right? They are creating the new service, releasing the new version, something like that. Multiple reason we have. Okay, so every server at a particular time they have some maintenance time where they are maintaining the service. Okay, so this is the one reason behind this server error, okay, so you will get 400 server error. Okay, and the another reason behind the server reason, another reason is your server is not started. Let's suppose you are working on any application, and if you not start your server, can you use that server? The developer who is responsible to start the server, if they will not start the server, can you use that particular server?
No.
No. So in that case also you will get the 500 internal server error. Okay, right? And the another reason behind that, poor network. So have you seen this type of issue, like the heavy rain is going on and you are trying to book the tickets and whatever the action you are trying to do, your network is very slow, and sometimes you are working in the office, your VPN is very poor network, the client VPN is very poor. So sometimes you will get the server error, the server is not available, something like that. Correct? Right. So this is the one reason behind the server error. Okay.
Because server not available, that don't come.
Sorry.
Like in poor network, you are saying server not available. That type of case I have not seen.
When I, my server is, my network is very poor. If I disconnect the call and when you are trying to access any application, so I think you will get a message like service unavailable or network issue, something like that. Right. Means what I am trying to say, the error from the server side. Right, or where your network is very poor and you are trying to connect with the server and server is not responding you because of the poor network. Okay, so sometime it will return the message, right, poor network or service unavailable. Okay, you will get this type of error message or server error, something like that. Okay, so let me search poor network server message. Let me go to the image and show you. Something like that. You will get poor network or yeah, bad request, something like. Okay, this site is cannot reach.
Yes, this correct.
Right, so you will get this type of error message. So this is the one reason behind that, the poor network. Okay, now we have the first reason might be in the maintenance mode or server not started or poor network. Okay, sometime what happened, the developer has not opened the port, every server having the port, every server having the port number, and when the server is up, they has to, developer who is the network person has to open the port actually. After then you can use your network, after then you can use your service. Okay, so network person has not opened the port of that particular server, in that case you will get the server error also. Okay, so the another thing, so every server having the IP address, the source IP, the developer know this thing very well on network person. Every service we have the source IP. If that source IP is not whitelisted, not whitelisted means if they have not added in the configuration. Okay, you can understand like that. If they have not whitelisted, if they have not added that IP in his list in the configuration, then you will get the server error. And the another reason, service is overloaded. So have you seen when you are trying to this error message you will see in the performance testing, service backend service is overloaded. So when you applying the load on the server, applying the load, your server will get down or your server will not responding and you will get the server error. because of the overload. Because of the overload, right? So that is the one reason behind the server error. Okay, so that's why we don't know the exact reason behind that. What is the reason actually when you are getting the server 500 internal server? So it might be the reason server is not started or your poor network. Then what you are doing here? You are checking your poor network, right? And might be your those server is in the maintenance mode, right? Or might be the server is not whitelisted or your port is not open. So guys, tell me, we are getting 500. Can you give me, can you uh, know the exact reason behind that? No, because we are only reporting the server error. The developer has to find the reason. What reason why you are getting the server error? Developer has to find the reason behind that. Okay, yes, you will go and check your network is strong or not, right? And you will, what you will do, you will try to use some different browser, and you will try to check in the multiple browser you are facing the same issue or not, just for the confirm at your side and then report 500 internal server error. Okay, so the developer will find the exact reason behind that.
Yeah. Because what is meaning of this whitelisted? IP not
Whitelisted means they are in the backend team, in the developer team or network team. Every server having the IP address, the source IP address. Okay, so whitelisted means they having some configuration or they having the some list, right? If you want to available that server, you have to add that IP into that list or configuration, right? So that is the whitelisted. Then that particular IP will get active actually. Okay, so that is the whitelisted. If you are not adding, then your server will not work, your service will not work. Okay, so that is the reason behind to get the 500 internal server here. You can see it here when I'm trying to create here, I'm getting error message. It get created. I think, have you seen, I think few minutes back I was getting 500 internal server. Have you noticed? Few minutes back I told you, remember this error code 500 internal error, right? So I think at that time there was some issue, right? That's why I was getting 500 internal server error. Now I'm trying to create using the same service. I am able to create the data. Can you see it here? Earlier I was getting 500 internal server error. I think that time this particular service was down. That's why. Okay, so I can't show you the the server error in my machine because this is totally related to the server error. You will get this error in the real time actually, in the real time when your server is down or in the maintenance, right? In that case you will get the server error. Okay, and in the real time generally we are getting 500 internal server, 502 bad gateway, 503 service unavailable, 504 gateway timeout. Okay, in the real time you will get this 4 status code generally. So this thing is I have explained you when you get the 500 internal server error. These all are the reason behind that. You will get the 500 error message. Internal server error message. When you get the 500 internal server, you will get the internal server error message here, like we are getting created. So if you get 500, then you will get the message like that, internal server error. Okay. Now 502 bad gateway. When you get the 502 bad gateway, let's try to understand 502 bad gateway. Okay, when we do the performance testing or load testing or volume testing or stress testing, performance testing, okay, when you applying the load on the server, let's suppose you apply the load 100 user and your server is applicable to apply this load. Your server is working, right? And you increasing the load on the server with 150 user, then you will get the response late, right? When you increase the load on the server, let's suppose 200, so you are getting the response, but the response time is more. When you applying the server 500, sorry, when you applying 500 user on the server, right? So in that case, your server will not, responding. So what happened? If you have 10 requests, in some of the requests, you will get the 502 bad gateway. When again I am asking you, when you will get the 40 bad gateway. You will get the 502 bad gateway when you continuously applying the load on the server, right? So you will notice that at some point, some of the request, you will get the 502 bad gateway due to the number of load, due to increasing the number of load on the server. When you do the performance testing, you will get this message. When you do the actually performance testing, in the performance testing class, you will face this server error actually. Okay, so this thing is clear. When you apply the load on the server, and you will get the for some of the request, you will get 502. Okay, now coming to the 504. Sorry,
Yes, it is not related to this gateway or proxy bad gateway error.
yeah, 502 bad gateway. Bad gateway means what happened when we continuously applying the load on the server. If you want to reproduce this particular status code, then you have to continuously apply the load on the server. And what happened for some of the requests, the proxy, it continuously applying the thing. What happened when you are going to the interview, and what happened when the interview will constantly, it means continuously asking the question, you are not completing the answer, and they ask the another question. You are not completing your answer, they ask the another question. So if they continuously happening this thing, so there is one point you will get nervous, right?
Yes.
It might depends on the person. There is one point you will get nervous, right? And you are not responding correctly. You know the answer, but you are not responding correctly, right? Same situation with the server. If you are continuously applying the load on the server, right, there is one point, server will not respond properly, right? The proxy will not respond properly. In that case, it will return 502 bad gateway. Here you can see it access in attempting to fulfill the request. What theory I have written here? The server, while acting as a GET proxy or a proxy, receive an invalid response from the upstream server. You can see when you are applying the multiple user on the server, so receive an invalid response from the upstream server. From the upper server, right, you will get the invalid response due to number of load applying on the server. So it will return bad gateway. Bad gateway. Okay. Now, gateway timeout. What did you mean by the gateway timeout? So I told you in the real time asking you guys, I'm explaining the things. When you reproduce this thing ideally, right? No one know the exact reason behind that when you will generate this thing, right? Because I have the experience in the performance testing, right? I know the performance testing. That's why I know in which condition you can reproduce this thing in your project. Okay, not I'm asking after applying 100 user or 200 user. Might be you will not get applying the load 100 or 200. You have to increase the load on the server like 400, 500, 1000, right? And there is one point your server will not respond, or your server is responding but slowly. Okay, at that time you will get the 502 bad gateway. Okay, now for 504 gateway timeout. So gateway timeout means, when we applying the load on the server, right? Load on the server, sometime, due to the number of user on the server, the high number of user applying on the server, it responding slowly. When they're responding slowly at some request, they will return the error message 404 gateway timeout. Right? If you go here and type, I think you have also faced this issue, gateway timeout, this type of error message. Have you seen in the real time in your UI something like gateway timeout? Gateway timeout. So that means you can see the server did not respond in time. Can you see the message here? So that means when you applying the load on the server, right, server will get, if you have not implemented your server for the 100 user, 200 user, it not supporting, then your server will respond, give you the response slowly. Right. So guys, tell me, when the have you all aware about the IRCT site, Indian Railway site?
Yes.
Right. So all we are booking the Tatkal ticket, right? We are booking the Tatkal ticket. So I think the counter will open at 10 o'clock. IRCT counter for the AC booking, AC counter, right? So have you seen when you are trying to book the ticket at 10 o'clock, you are rarely book the ticket on the 10 o'clock. Sometimes if you are lucky, then you are able to book the ticket. If you are not lucky, then you are not able to book the ticket. Agree?
Yes.
Why you are not able to book the ticket? Tell me.
Because too many users are accessing the applications same time.
Yeah, too many users are accessing the application. And one more thing, the other reason also, the number of seat is less, right? Number of user are heated the server on the particular time. Okay, so what happened, you will get the you will get 40500 also error, or you will get also 504 4 also gateway timeout, right? Because your server is not responding very fast because of the number of load on the server. Or you will get 502 bad gateway. Okay, so what happened when we are applying the load on the server, at some point the server will start responding very slowly, right? And for some of the request you will get 504 gateway timeout. Let's suppose the developer has set the time like in 10 second or 50 second. When you connect with the server, you will get the response in maximum in 10 second or 15 second, right? When you here you can see, if I connecting with this particular service, I am getting the response instantly, right? So let's suppose due to applying due to the server load on the server, right? So maximum time set by the developer is 10 second, right? So due to the load on the server, you are not getting the response in 10 second or 15 second. So after that you will get the error message 504 gateway timeout, because you not get the response in the defined time. So it will return you the response as a 504 gateway timeout error message. Okay, and 503 service unavailable. I think you have seen this message in the UI. When your server is down or in the maintenance, you will get the 503 service unavailable. So when your service is down or your service is in the maintenance, then which status code you will get? 500 and 503. Correct? Right? Or when your server is not started, your server is poor or not whitelisted, right? So your server is not open and your server in the maintenance mode, you will get 500 or 503 service unavailable. Either this one, and when you get 502 or 504, when you applying these applying the load on the server. So if server is down or in the maintenance, you will not get 502 or 504. You will get 500 and 503. It depends how they have designed, what status code they have used, the developer. Okay, so based on that it will return. Okay, so this is all about the status code. Okay, and please, what I have explained you, all are the interview question, guys. All are the interview question. They will ask you about server error and what is the reason behind that. Whatever the server error reason I have provided you, you have to neat and clean, you have to explain that thing. Okay, so now we are going to, do you want to continue?
No, please.
No.
Okay, no problem. So in tomorrow class we will discuss API security. I have already discussed authorization and the authentication. Now we will discuss how we can set the basic auth and the token. Okay, and we will discuss, I think the basic concept I have already discussed, but I will discuss what are the auth token we have. Here you can see the auth token. It's simple because again this thing is depends on your project. There are a lot of things inside the auth 1.0 which is provided by your team actually, right? By your team actually. The signature method, it is decided by your team, by the client. The consumer key decided by the client, the consumer secret decided by the client, access token here you have to pass. Okay, so in the tomorrow class we will discuss the auth. Okay, auth, which are the auth we are using. Okay, and after that we will discuss the we will move to the automation side. Okay, so we will move to the, I think we'll try to discuss the automation things in tomorrow class. Okay, so we will discuss the thing in tomorrow class, how you can what is the different types of the auth and how you can access the property in from the JSON object. Okay, so please be available in tomorrow class. In tomorrow class I will start the automation testing, how you can do the automation testing. Okay, clear? Okay guys, we'll meet tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah sir.
I just request like few introductory topics can we have in any class, like difference between SOAP, REST, services.
Yeah, that I will explain you. That I will explain you. That is not done from my side. What is the difference between SOAP and REST and the other services? Yeah, that is a very important question in the interview actually. They will definitely ask. I think in the demo class I have already explained you. I think demo and here
it was like a high level.
Yeah, high level, but I will explain you. No problem. Okay. Yeah guys, thank you, and please be available in the tomorrow class. Okay. Yeah, web server and app server. I have remembered, ma'am, because I want to explain the API concept, and when then again look at the theoretical section, you can easily understand actually. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Vikas. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye bye guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.